So the question I want to address today is whether you as a home buyer or a mortgage borrower should use a mortgage broker or a direct lender. What's the best place to go to get a loan? Now, as far as definitions go, a direct lender is somebody, an institution, that's lending their own money. Whether it's a bank like Bank of America or Wells Fargo or Chase, or a mortgage banker like Quicken Loans or Loan Depot. A mortgage broker is a completely different animal. That's a third-party intermediary who's basically taking your loan package and taking it to a direct lender. So what's the best one to use? Well, in my background, as I've mentioned before, I started out in the real estate business on the mortgage lending side. I first worked for a finance company that was a division of an automotive company that made mortgage loans. And then I went to work for a bank, and then I worked for two different mortgage bankers. And now I can broker loans as a mortgage broker. So the quick answer is the best place to get a mortgage loan is through a mortgage broker. Because that's what I do. But as self-interested as that answer is, it's also the right one as far as I'm concerned, because I have my license with a mortgage broker because I want to be able to obtain the best possible financing for my clients. But there are reasons for that. Consideration number one, your profile. If you've got extremely good credit and your income and assets are very simple, you can basically get a loan from anywhere. But if your circumstance is more complicated, if your credit isn't great, if your tax returns are complicated, or your employment is complicated, or your assets are complicated, then you might have a difficult time finding a direct lender who will make that kind of loan. A mortgage broker will have the experience and probably dozens of different avenues to take your loan. So that's the first consideration. Now the second consideration is the type of loan that you want. If you want to borrow $679,650 or less, and you want a standard 30-year fixed rate loan, that's a Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac agency loan, and everybody makes those loans. But if the loan you want, or the loan you need, or the loan that you qualify for doesn't meet those requirements, it's a little more complicated. If you've got credit or asset or income issues, you're probably not going to be qualifying for a Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac loan. In that case, it may be difficult to find out which bank will make the loan for you. Also, some borrowers have extremely unique profiles as far as high net worth individuals, and they want to cross-collateralize brokerage accounts, other properties, significant assets that they have, and it takes a custom high-end private banker to make those loans. I also had a circumstance recently where a borrower tried to see if I could match a rate and quote given to them by their credit union. Well, at that time, their credit union was offering a special promotion for people that were in the ministry. The wife worked for a church, and a different promotion for people in education, and the husband was a teacher. They also had a special credit with their credit union because of the time that they'd been members of the credit union. Well, the circumstances in that situation were such that these borrowers got an amazing deal that wasn't readily available in the marketplace. Consideration number 4 is the transaction itself. Where is the loan going to be handled? Maybe you're not aware and haven't been paying attention to the mortgage business like I have lately, but Wells Fargo and Bank of America and Chase have all announced a ton of layoffs. They're consolidating operations. I just ran into this with a buddy of mine that had a really good relationship with the lady at his local B of A branch. Well, he was talking to her about getting a loan, but it turns out that other than just taking the loan application itself, 100% of everything that was going to be done on his loan was handled out of state. The people had no idea who he was, and more importantly, no idea about what was going on here in Orange County real estate. The other issue that came up with that loan is that this particular banker didn't have any idea what a conditional loan approval was. It's something that I use in my real estate business extensively. And that's the type of loan that you get a borrower completely underwritten by a human underwriter. The loan is completely approved before finding a house. Well, B of A won't do that type of loan. They would give a pre-qualification letter, but they wouldn't get anybody to sign off on the loan. Well, that has an impact on the transaction. So we ended up not using Bank of America because they couldn't help us the way that we needed to be helped. Also, another consideration is if you're using a local mortgage bank or local mortgage broker and the representative is right here in the county, there's some pressure that could be brought to that individual that wouldn't necessarily be the case if you just pick up the phone and talk to somebody way off in Michigan at Quicken. Being a real estate agent, and I'm here at an open house right now, it's very common to have mortgage bankers and mortgage brokers come in here to the open house to try to get business from me. Well, can you imagine if I'm in a transaction with one of those mortgage bankers or mortgage brokers and something goes sideways? It's not just that one transaction that they're going to be thinking about, it's all the other transactions that they're hoping that I'm going to send to them. And you as a borrower can benefit from that situation. Whereas if you're on the phone to some 21-year-old recent college graduate that's got a headset in a cubicle outside of Detroit and you're one of 75 people in his pipeline, your tragic circumstance or urgency isn't going to mean quite as much. And that could impact you and your transaction. Consideration number 4 is simply costs. And let's be honest, when it comes down to it, the question that's always asked is not how good is your service and where is your processing center located. It's what's your rate and fees. So let me give you a little bit of a tutorial on how it works. For mortgage bankers, their loan officers are given their rate sheet. This is today's rates, and this is what you have to go out into the marketplace with. And if you're dealing with one of those individuals, they have their rate for the day, and you get that opportunity. Whereas with a mortgage broker, I'll get 75 or 80 different lenders who are all competing for my business. So what happens is they, because they don't need to pay a loan officer and have office space and all that for a retail branch, they're delivering on a wholesale basis. So they deliver dramatically lower rates to me as a mortgage broker. And then I, seeing all of these different lenders competing against one another, can figure out the loan for you and the price for you as these guys are all trying to fight it out. You then benefit. So that's one huge advantage that a mortgage broker has, is that at the click of a button, literally the click of a button, they can do far more shopping effectively than you can do picking up the phone, calling all over town, and comparing rates. Now, for my particular clients, what I do, if I'm representing you as a home buyer, I offer substantially discounted origination fees. Because for me, the loan piece isn't the way that I make my living. The loan piece is the way that I make sure that my clients get the best service, the best terms, and the best performance so that their transaction holds together. It's absolutely impossible, other than the most unique of circumstances, that I can't dramatically undercut the costs and fees of any mortgage banker or mortgage broker for my real estate clients. So if you'd like to learn more about that, or if you'd like a simple rate quote, you can call me, 949-413-2371. You can email me, michael@housamgroup.com. Also, right above my head, there should be a little round button with an I when you move the cursor. Click on that, and that will take you to my website, and you can get more information there as well. Lastly, please follow and subscribe to this YouTube channel. I very regularly do advice for borrowers, for home buyers, and home sellers, tips and other little things to help make your real estate experience easier and happier. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great day.